Hello guys and welcome back to OdnanFCB. The vibes around Barcelona are still incredible after winning La Liga, but today we have a full Barca news roundup because there is a lot happening right now around the club. We are going to talk about the defeat against Deportivo Alavés, the debut performance from Álvaro Cortés, Hansi Flick's comments after the match, the latest on Robert Lewandowski's future, and also the striker situation involving Julián Álvarez and João Pedro. There is a lot to discuss, so let's get right into it. Even though Barcelona lost against Alavés, honestly this was always going to be a difficult game after all of the celebrations from winning the league title. The players had the parade, the city was celebrating, and the energy was more focused on enjoying the moment rather than playing a perfect match. But despite the result, there was one massive positive from the game, and that was Álvaro Cortés. The young centre-back made his debut for Barcelona, and honestly he looked very impressive. He showed calmness on the ball, confidence in duels, and physically he looked ready for the level. At 6'3", he brings presence to the defense, and Flick was clearly very happy with what he saw. After the game, Hansi Flick praised Álvaro Cortés heavily. He talked about his aerial ability, his confidence in possession, and the way he handled himself against strong attackers. Flick also said something important that really explains why young players continue succeeding under him at Barcelona. He told Cortés before the game to simply play the way he trains. That confidence from Flick is massive. He does not want players to freeze under pressure. He wants them to trust themselves and show personality. That is exactly why so many young players have improved under him already. Flick now has given debuts to 13 La Masia players since arriving at Barcelona, and that says everything about the trust he has in the academy. He also spoke about the special connection that La Masia players have when they come through together. According to Flick, everybody wants to play for Barca because the club feels different. He said it is special not only for players but also for coaches. That connection between the club, the fans and the academy continues to be one of Barcelona's biggest strengths. Meanwhile, while Barca continues celebrating titles and developing young talent, Florentino Pérez somehow continues making excuses after Real Madrid's disastrous season. Hansi Flick was asked once again about Florentino's comments regarding corruption and referees, and honestly Flick's reaction said everything. The moment he heard the question, he basically laughed it off and said it was not worth answering. And honestly, he is right. Barcelona are champions. Flick is focused on improving the team and preparing for next season, while Real Madrid continue blaming everyone except themselves. And speaking of next season, one of the biggest stories right now is Robert Lewandowski's future. Honestly guys, it genuinely feels like we are reaching the end of Lewandowski's time at Barcelona. Talks between him and the club have reportedly stalled completely. Barcelona offered him a one-year extension with a much lower salary, but apparently Lewandowski was not happy with the proposal. The reality is that Barca want to reduce wages and start preparing for the future. Lewandowski remains one of the highest earners at the club, and while everybody respects what he has done for Barcelona, financially, the club may decide it is time to move on. And let's be honest, Lewandowski deserves huge respect for what he achieved here. He joined Barcelona during one of the club's toughest moments financially and still helped bring trophies back to the club. His goals, leadership, and professionalism have been massive. But now the focus shifts toward the future because if Lewandowski leaves, Barcelona will need a new number 9. That brings us to the striker market, and the two big names right now are Julián Álvarez and João Pedro. Starting with Julián Álvarez, Barcelona clearly admire him a lot. The rumours have been going on for a very long time and there is no doubt about his quality. He is already proven at the highest level and would fit perfectly into this team. But the problem is the price. Reports are saying that signing Julián Álvarez could cost well over 100 million euros. And honestly, for Barcelona, that is an enormous amount of money. If Barca spend that kind of money on one player, it could completely destroy the rest of the transfer budget. That is why João Pedro is becoming more and more interesting. João Pedro is still expensive, but nowhere near the price of Julián Álvarez. More importantly, reports are saying that Barca have already spoken with João Pedro's camp, and the response has been extremely positive. Apparently he is very interested in joining Barcelona, and Deco is also a huge fan of him. That matters a lot because Deco has major influence inside the club when it comes to transfers. Barcelona reportedly want to start laying the groundwork for João Pedro before the World Cup because once that tournament starts, prices can rise very quickly. Especially with Brazilian players, one strong tournament can completely change the market value. So right now, it genuinely feels like João Pedro may be becoming the more realistic option for Barcelona this summer. And honestly, guys, it is an interesting debate. Would you rather spend over 100 million euros on Julián Álvarez or go for João Pedro at a lower cost while still strengthening other areas of the squad? That is the big question right now. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.